Remember to subscribe. I'm back again. This is an ECZ paper, Biology Paper 1, 5090, 2020. Let's get to question 1. A living organism absorbs glucose, releases energy in its cells, and then passes out carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Which characteristics of living things are described in the statement above? My answer there is A, excretion, nutrition, respiration. Yeah, that's what is being explained in the statement above there. We don't have growth here. There's nothing that has pointed to growth. We don't have anything to do with response to stimuli, which is irritability. So a living organism absorbs glucose. Glucose is a nutrient that comes from the class of carbohydrates. Releases energy by respiration. So respiration and nutrition is covered in its cells and passes out carbon dioxide. That's excretion. So A is my answer there. Number 2, 3 cell structures are listed below: cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus. Which structures are found in both palisade cells and liver cells? Palisade cells are found in plants, especially or specifically the leaves, and then liver cells, of course, in the liver. 2 and 3, cytoplasm and nucleus. Cell walls are not found in animal cells. Number 3, the diagram below shows a piece of viscing tubing containing starch suspension held in a beaker of pure water. Saliva was added to the starch and the experiment was left for 2 hours. Before we even get to those viscing tubings, we should not say viscing tubing has got properties like a selectively permeable membrane. And then saliva has enzymes, specifically salivary amylase. So we get to the diagrams. This is the first arrangement: starch suspension, pure water, saliva drops. Then at the beginning, we've got this arrow signifying passage of time, viscing tubing, they've specified so it's partially permeable, and then sugar present. So this is pure water, but after the 2 hours, there's sugar present here. Meaning starch suspension, saliva are making connections here. Saliva is meant to break down starch to smaller chains, and if left for some time, for a longer time, even to much smaller sugars. Here this signifies that sugar was able to pass from the tubing to the outside, to the pure water. That's why the sugar is present here after 2 hours. What does this experiment show? Saliva, my answer here is starch can be changed to sugar. So let's first of all go through the others. Saliva is a solvent for starch. No. Saliva passes through the viscing tubing. No, there's nothing showing saliva passing through the viscing tubing, but instead there's a sugar here, and starch is a complex sugar. Number D, starch is soluble in pure water. No, starch is insoluble. So C is the most appropriate answer, or the best answer here. Question 4, which of the following is true about enzymes, about all enzymes? My answer there was B. This column here, they're not sugars, they're protein in nature. They are mostly protein in nature. So A and B qualify there. Affected at pH 7. Enzymes work at different pH values or levels or degrees. Some work properly in the mouth, some in the stomach, some in the first part of the ileum. And then the next one there is each enzyme catalyzes one reaction. That's very true. So my answer there was B. They're not all sugars. They're not all affected by pH 7 because some of them work properly in the mouth, the stomach, and then also in the jejunum and the first part of the ileum, which is actually basic. The stomach is acidic. So my answer there is B. They are specific. Number 5. Chemical tests were carried out on a food sample in solution. The table below shows the results. Burette, purple color. Burette is for proteins. Ethanol, white emulsion for fat. Iodine, brown color, is supposed to be for starch. It's supposed to be dark blue or dark purple. So there my answer is B. Okay, B, where fat is present, protein is present, starch is absent. Okay, because there was no change to the expected color change. Question 6. The table below shows the mass of some nutrients found in 100 grams of 4 different foods. Okay, so we've got carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, that is vitamin C per gram per milligram, vitamin D per milligram. This is protein per gram, fat per gram, carbohydrate per gram. Which foods would best prevent rickets and scurvy? Vitamin D is for proper bone formation. C is for proper epithelial tissue maintenance, including the epithelium in our mouth and gums. So scurvy affects gums, rickets affects legs, and so you have to look at the foods that have got high percentage by mass of vitamin C and D. So already there is beans and there is eggs. Okay, because here there is 0, then the 0.4, this one is higher, 1.5 per milligram, 1.5 parts per milligram. So my answer here is going to be beans and eggs. So my answer is D, beans and eggs. Rickets, beans, which is D. Yeah, I think you're seeing it. The next one there is which of the following people needs the most energy daily? Male manual workers. Males have got a higher basal metabolic rate, and apart from that, if you give them manual work or labor, they expend so much energy, they'll need replacement. So male manual workers. Which mineral nutrient is required by plants for proper formation of roots? The answer there is phosphorus. Magnesium is for leaves, nitrogen also partly, mainly, mostly for leaves, and phosphorus is appropriate for roots. Number 9, the diagram below shows an arrangement of apparatus for an experiment and photosynthesis left in sunlight for 5 hours. The leaf was then tested for starch. You have that sodium hydroxide pellets, then you have these regions here. So this is the first region Z, region Y, and then region X. After the experiment, what were the colors of the regions X, Y, Z? So you're testing for starch. You add iodine. You expect a dark blue appearance in regions where starch is present. So the upper part is exposed to sunlight and air. It's therefore expected to be blue-black or dark blue or dark purple. Expected to be blue-black. So C is disqualified already because X is expected to have present of those things. Then my Y is brown because there's no starch there. It was covered, cut away from sunlight. My D is also brown because the sodium hydroxide pellets will absorb the carbon, okay, the carbon dioxide. So here there is light, but there's no carbon dioxide because photosynthesis will need carbon dioxide for it to manufacture the starch. So my answer there is D. Number 10, the dental formula of a certain carnivore is that. What is the total number of teeth in the lower jaw of the carnivore? Okay, you should note to say these formulas only show half of each of the jaw's number of teeth. So these denominators this is half. When you add all of them, it's half the number of teeth on the lower jaw. So if you add them, then you have half the number of teeth. So you have to multiply by 2 to have the total number of teeth on each or on the lower jaw. So this will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you multiply by 2 to give you 14 on the lower jaw. On the upper jaw, add these, then multiply by 2. That will be the upper jaw number of teeth. 11, the diagram below shows part of the alimentary canal. So with those numbers there, which two structures produce substances involved in the digestion of lipids? Okay, which of the two structures involve substances involved in the digestion of lipids? My answer here is 3 and 4. Okay, 3 and 4. I come back to my diagram. 3, that's the pancreas. 4, that's the liver. Okay, the liver. I took it to say this is not touching the the duodenum here. So that's the liver. The liver produces bile, and the bile is stored in 5. This is not a site for bile production, it's a storage site. So it's actually produced in the liver. Then here there is pancreatic lipase, which breaks down lipids. So the answer is 3 and 4, which is C. The diagram below shows the structure of a gill. Gills are found in fish. I can already tell these are rachas, these are filaments. Okay, what is the function of the parts X and Y? X, my answer here is X is for gaseous exchange, because you find gill lamellae there, which are the functional units of the gill, and then the rachas are there to remove solid particles before the water can proceed to go to the gill filaments there. My answer is B. Number 13, which substances are produced in muscles by aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Okay, so aerobic is where oxygen is available, anaerobic is where oxygen is limited. So in aerobic, respiration goes away to give you carbon dioxide, water, and energy, but here you get lactic acid with very little energy. So the answer there is B. Ethanol is produced in plants, not in animals. Lactic acid is what is produced in animals. Number 14, below is a list of signs and symptoms of a disease: severe diarrhea, dehydration, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. This disease already, you can tell that it affects the alimentary canal. Which disease is characterized by the above signs and symptoms? Bilharzia goes for the urinary system. Malaria, it's in the blood. Tuberculosis, mostly in the lungs and the bones. So it's cholera. My answer is B. That's the most appropriate answer there. Okay, that's our question 15 right there. I'll go for up to 20 for this first part, then I'll do the other part later. So 15, the diagram below shows a cross-section through the root of a plant, and we've got those parts right there. So which tissue transports water and mineral salts to different parts of the plant? The xylem, which is B. The xylem is B. A is the phloem. D is the outer bark of the root or the epithelium. Then C, that is ground tissue. Number 16, the diagram shows 3 types of blood cells. Okay, we've got P, Q, and R. Although these I may not really qualify them to be typical cells, but yeah, they have been qualified to be cells. Which of these cells produces antibodies, engulfs bacteria, and are involved in blood clotting? Engulfing, you've got that phagocyte. Then they've got that cell Q. I've forgotten its name. Don't judge me. Then you've got the platelets right there. So our answer there is B. Okay. P engulfs. That's very true. R is involved in blood clotting. That's very true. Then Q produces antibodies. Okay, so number 17. The diagram shows a longitudinal section through a mammalian heart. You can see the 4 chambers right there, and 4 blood vessels labeled 1 up to 4. Which labeled blood vessel carries deoxygenated blood? 3, that's your vena cavae. This is your pulmonary artery, which is the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood. That's your aorta. Then that's your pulmonary vein from the lungs. So this is from the body to the lungs to the systems from the lungs. So my answer there is going to be 3 and 4. So the answer there is D, 3 and 4. Question 18. The diagram below shows part of the excretory system in a mammal. Okay, that is the renal system, the excretory system. What are the numbered structures? What are the numbered structures? Let me just peruse through them. That's your kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, then urethra. Let's look for them. Number 1 is kidney. Yes, kidney. Number 2 is ureter. Yes, ureter, not urethra. So mark the difference there. Number 3, that's urinary bladder. Yes. Then finally, urethra. So not to say there are many types of bladders. You've got the urinary bladder, you've got the gallbladder, and other bladders that exist in the body. So number 19, where is the hormone insulin produced, and what is its site of action. Insulin is produced in the pancreas, and then the site of action is in the liver. The pancreas produces two types of hormones, which is insulin and glycogen. Okay, I mean glucagon. Sorry, glucagon. The two rhyme, but it's glucagon. The two hormones work antagonistically, but yes, pancreas and the site of function is in the liver. The last question for now is 20. A conditioned reflex differs from a spinal reflex because a conditioned reflex has been modified by past experiences. Spinal reflexes are usually simple. They involve things like withdrawing from anything that is painful, or catching a glass that was about to fall, while its conditioned reflexes are reflexes like driving, riding a bicycle, um, rope walking. Okay, you have to learn them, and then you perfect them by past experiences. And you also have what we call cranial reflexes apart from spinal reflexes. Cranial reflexes are those reflexes that are concerned with the head region, the cranium. So they involve sneezing, partly swallowing, and blinking, like if something wants to enter your eye and the like. So I end here for today. Remember to subscribe and leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part for this video, which is question 21 to 40. Bye bye.